Okay, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ironically, I think that out of the whole 10 years of the Marvel Universe, Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp have probably been the two films that are the most consistent between the two of them. You could probably say that the Guardians and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And by that I mean Captain America 1 was okay, Winter Soldier was amazing. Iron Man 1 was good, Iron Man 2 was okay. Thor 1 and Thor 2 were... Avengers 1 was awesome, Avengers 2 was... But with this one, they're both incredibly good. So of course we take up after Civil War. Significantly after Civil War. So, the Pyms are on the run with a lot of shrinking tech. I will say I loved how they used it for everything. If you saw it in the trailer, you know they use it for cars, buildings, everything. And, you know, Scott is under house arrest. Going kind of stir crazy. Well, the Pyms are trying to find a way to free Janet. Remember in the first film that Janet went subatomic, and then they lost her. They think they might have found a way to get her back. Because, remember, Scott went subatomic and came back. So they fire up the generator, and they can't quite get it to work. So they need to get more parts. This now brings in your first primary villain, because Scott Lang is dealing with the FBI. The Pyms are running from the FBI. And of course, you know, when you're buying black market quantum energy, quantum mechanics, quantum, just put quantum in front of anything, that's what he's dealing in. You know, this person's probably going to want to also learn more what you're doing. So, he's a villain. Then there's Ghost. This is in the trailer, the person who's dressed in white, who's phasing in and out of existence. So, you now have two people that shrink, they can go subatomic. Scott Lang, of course, can get big, too. He's bidirectional. And someone who phases in and out of existence. These fight scenes were done incredibly well. What makes this work really well is when you have the Wasp, she's a fantastic fighter. Good amount of gadgets, but you can tell she has a high level of skill when it comes to facing individuals. As well as being able to be regular size and small and back and forth. Great job with it. Now you have Scott Lang in the suit, he's got minimal training. So he has the same powers, but very little, not as much skill in using them. But still does a pretty good job. Love the use of the giant ants, and they use a lot of ants in this. I mean, the effects are actually really good, except for de-aging still looks weird. There's a de-aged Lawrence Fishburne, which I think they had his son be like the body double, and they just kind of like augmented his face. The young Michael Douglas and the young Michelle Pfeiffer, they lose a lot of like facial expression. Like they've got like a Botoxed forehead. But you can tell it's still a work in progress. Take somebody of one age, and okay, we're going to wipe 40 years off of your face. So the majority of the film is spent trying to rescue Janet. While dodging the FBI. While dodging Ghost. While dodging the arms dealer who's trying to get some of the other tech and find out more what's going on. So you get all these different components going along with really good amounts of comedy. What makes it work is you've got, I think it's Luis Pena. Is it Luis Pena? I know it's Pena. Fill in the comments below. I might have just combined Luis Guzman and Michael Pena. I think it's Michael. It's Michael Pena? I just hybridized Luis Guzman and Michael Pena. Sorry. They're in almost every single film next to Danny Trejo. It's your triumvirate. With just the right amount of comedy. Because you have comedic characters. But it's built into the character that this person is the comedic moment. Serious people are serious. And they cut the occasional like really dry humor joke. The combination of Douglas, Lily, and Rudd is beautiful. And they do a scene near the ending of the film that my wife and she was just, this is really weird to watch. But the way they're acting it is beautiful. Of course, there are end credit sequences. I recommend definitely seeing the mid-credit one. It helps you figure out the timeline of the story. The very end one is an ant playing the drums, which you see earlier in the film. But it also tells you exactly where things are in the timeline. But it's just ant playing drums. So if you like Ant-Man, this is a great follow-up. Really great follow-up. And after what we had for the third Avengers film, which was just, it was high energy and high action, and then, oh, okay. You needed a palate cleanser, and this is the high comedy, but still has enough of the caperness to it, as well as has a family dynamic to it. It takes a lot of boxes. It's like action, check. Sci-fi, check. Solid acting, check. Comedy, check. Drama, check. Family dynamics, check. It hits all of the boxes. Does it incredibly well. If you haven't seen it, I recommend seeing it. It's very good. And it works perfectly well within the timeline.